Just gonna wait for YouTube here to pop up. I've been talking to Sneezer for the last few minutes. Oh, I should have brought my earbuds. It's okay. Okay, let's see. It's me, yes, I'm live. It's the Nazarite bringing you Hebrew lore from days of yore. Oh, wait, I'm just gonna mute this. Okay, so here I am. Been a while. I think I last broadcasted in the middle of May, and I went back to see if there were any comments, and there is a comment I'd like to address. Hey, Rusty is here, and I think Sneezer is still here. Yes, he is. Shalom, shalom to you both. Still too hot. Still too hot. So, we've been talking about hummus, and Sneezer cannot believe that he hasn't had a bagel with hummus. He says, toasted bagel dipped in hummus, that sounds like a dish fit for kings. And I mentioned olive oils and warm chickpeas. I'm always here. Okay. You got it for browning, you got olive oil for browning the turkey. I know people use grease for that, and if I'm not mistaken. Wait, ground turkey, not a full bird. Gotcha. Okay. End of the month, said Sneezer, it'll probably be a pasta sauce with a few herbs added. So it's ground turkey, you're adding that. End of the month, meaning you're going to let it marinate for that. So it's not, okay, how long are you marinating it for? Is it marinating right now? Is it indeed a marinade, what you're doing? It's still too hot. I don't want to burn my tongue. It's Nazarite Awareness Week, people. Parashat Naso. You know what? What I wanted to do right now, hang on a second. What I wanted to do, okay, sorry. What I'm doing right now as we speak is creating an AMA post on Reddit. And I did this twice before, I think. Hang on a second. So I'm trying to do that as well. Here we are. Hang on a second. So Nazarite Awareness Week. A year ago exactly, I went back to broadcasting after not being on for a while with the Nazarite Awareness Week and the Torah portion of Naso. No, meaning Sneezer says, by the end of the month, I'm out of ground. By the end of the month, you're out of ground turkey. And then the rest will be for pasta. Yeah, sure. KYD, your kid, says, would you rather have a Paki American teacher or an Egypt American teacher? I don't care who they are or where they're from, as long as they can teach their subject properly. And so, yeah. KYD does the Paki shower. Why, is there some sort of a stigma with Pakistani folk? You don't, wait, Sneezer says, you know some don't, and I wouldn't be on the same block with them. Well, the question is, because for most of human history, people didn't shower daily. That's a fairly new thing. And, I mean, if Orthodox Jews or, other Jews as well, actually, the Hebes, if we didn't have the mikveh, people would shower a lot less with us, I'm sure. Maybe not currently, but at the time. The Hebes always had the mikveh for men and women. And right, the washing of the hands, there's the whole thing. But as for the stigma, I have no idea. And showering, there were many other ways of not reeking of BO and still not showering. Right? If you put some kind of essential oil in water, right, and you put a branch in there, and you spray it on yourself, that's good, at least for a while, depending on what you do.
Wow.
I know, baby, I know. Okay. I reek if I don't shower in the morning. No, thank you, my dear.
Same.
I reek if I don't shower in the morning. Well, I don't think I've reeked in a very long time. I do enjoy the shower in the morning. But let's put it this way. If I leave and I hit the gym in the morning, I'll shower. If I'm in the morning at home, I won't shower, and I'll shower in the evening. Or sometimes, I mean, not necessarily daily. I don't shower daily. There are times when I did. Incidentally, there are times when I went to the mikveh daily too. It's been a while.
You don't shower daily?
Every day? No. If I work hard, I sweat, I reek, I'm sick, then yes.
Every 2
If
days?
there's no absolute necessity, I don't feel the need to shower every day as some sort of...
Every 2 days?
No, it's not... I don't have a stopwatch. Really, I don't.
Hindi siya sacaste solo sa mí.
Likely, of course.
No, regularly.
No, I don't think so. Not in a very long time. Rusty says, some people of all races and religions don't shower, and it has nothing to do with race or religion. Right, so he didn't mention race or religion, he mentioned region, right, a geographical region. But people showered a lot less, significantly less.
Why?
They didn't have the infrastructure. Hey, Robert is here. Shalom, Robert. Hello, hello, hello. You've been reading through the Bible from start to finish, if I'm not mistaken. Where are you now? Or, well, I don't know if it was start to finish. Maybe it was the prophet start to finish. There was something. You're just a racist, Sneezer. You would not dare call a Muslim a Paki to his face. Wait, a Muslim who's not from Pakistan? No, put it down, please. Thank you. As I was saying, I wanted to create a simultaneously, I wanted to create an AMA, but it's not letting me create the post. There's a server error or something like that. Hey, that's not good. No, that's not good at all. Okay, it doesn't really matter. I'll do it later. Hey, Samantha Kemp. Or Kemp. Sorry about that. Robert says, between Psalms and Samuel and Chronicles in order chronologically. Oh, I see. So you're jumping between what David had done in Samuel to how it's portrayed later or written down in Chronicles. Call him a Muslim a Paki is a very racist slur in the West. He knows this. How was your Shavuot? Asks Robert. My Shavuot was good. I actually, the reason why I didn't broadcast last night after the holiday ended is because I had a bit of a stomach bug throughout the day. Nothing major, I've had a lot worse, but it was still enough to, by the time 10 p.m. rolled around, that wasn't happening. So my Shavuot was mainly drinking tea, this tea, green tea with mint for the stomach. And I'm still drinking it today. This is like my third cup. And my Shavuot was good. I went through the Torah portion, right, the reading and the prophets reading, right, the Haftarah. What I didn't go through was the scroll of Ruth, which is traditionally read on Shavuot. I also didn't read any of the Psalms, which I did want to do, since it's King David's Yahrzeit. Oh, okay. Pardon? No, it's mine. Sorry for the beep boops. I'm going to mute this. Okay, Ima's on her way. Okay. So my Shavuot was very good, very blessed, but also, we had guests over, and that was fun. I had a thank you, my dear. No, I appreciate it. But it was on the one hand, it was very good. On the other hand, it was a little extraordinary because I was under the weather, or not weather. It was a stomach bug, as I said. Otherwise, I felt well. There was no fever. There was no other symptoms other than stomach issues. So my Shavuot was very good. I hope and pray that light of receiving the Torah will be able to keep on giving. And on Shavuot we stand once again at Sinai and receive the Torah. Just like we do in Purim, only in a different way. Okay. So good to see you streaming, Achi, says Robert. Thank you, I appreciate the sentiment. It's nice to be here again. And like I said, exactly a year ago on this, on Parashat Naso, Hebrew Nazarite Awareness Week, I started again after a while of not being live or with any videos at all, uploads, lives. And it's been a year, and it's been so much fun. The last few months with the baby have been that I'm doing it a lot less. But I had a very good run until the little doodle was born. The littlest doodle. Paki is so much shorter than Pakistani. Well, that's already a syllable here, a syllable there. If it's a slur, then you could say it, but there might be consequences. You might get clocked in the face, Seinfeld was hilarious, says Robert Harrison. I watched the first couple of seasons of Curb Your Enthusiasm, and then I tuned out, not because it went bad, but just because I tuned out. And I recently saw the reunion episode, and I thought it was really, really great. Seinfeld is indeed hilarious. I still watch episodes occasionally, and it stands the test of time in so many on so many levels. It's good comedy. Rusty, shut up. 97% of Pakistani are Muslim. Right. So it makes sense that, well, if you're a Pakistani Muslim and they call you a Paki in Pakistan, what does that mean? Sanizar says, personally, I've never heard anyone refer to Muslims as Paki. So see, apparently he didn't know. I didn't know it was a pejorative term either. XRP Kidiotech says, hey, stopping to show a little love. Stay in God's good grace, brosifs. Thank you, Kidiotech. Same to you. Be blessed. He said he was a coffee drinker instead of tea. What, Seinfeld? Wait, I'm sorry, did I miss something? Did you mean the show Seinfeld? I'm assuming you meant the show. I thought you were watching it. What is?
The chat and you.
Yes, of course it is. I'm reading the chat now from 10:14 or 10:13, and it's now 10:17. I'm a few minutes behind. Yes, I know. I had a lot more people back then. Okay. So, coffee drinker instead of tea. I'm not following you, Robert.
It's your third cup of tea.
Oh, I thought that he meant Seinfeld. Yeah, I didn't have a cup of coffee this morning or yesterday in the morning, but I have 1 cup of coffee in the morning. And during the first 3 months with the newborn, I had a cup of coffee around 6 p.m. as well, to keep me for the nighttime feedings and such. Okay. You know what? I'm going to go to the chat. Hey, my woman is on. Hello, woman. I'm going to go to not to the chat. I am in the chat. I'm going to go to a comment that was part of a whole thread from 3 weeks ago, and I didn't see that it kept going afterwards, so I'll just read a couple of things now. Okay. Oh, wait, it jumped. It does that occasionally. I'll have to scroll down, and you'll have to bear with me as I scroll down. Or maybe this is a sign that I should just keep going with the chat. I don't know. If it's political, and it might be, I'm going to say no. You know what? Let's continue with the chat, because I don't want to just blah, blah, blah here and scroll. I lost the place, I'll get to it later. There's so much peace reading the Psalms. Well, there are Psalms that are very peaceful and full of gratitude and full of good vibes. And this sense of elevation and of great longing. And sometimes it's very sad and very requiem-like, where it's people mourning either what's to come, which might be bad, as some prophecies say. They don't have to come true, but they might. And this longing of that I'm not enough, and I could be more, and I long to be more than I am now. I am a shell of my former self. I have transgressed and I've sinned. I've missed the mark. And everybody's, I'm feeling oppression on all sides, and there's nobody to help me, and I'm only turning to you. You're the only one I can turn to. There's that heartbreaking element of the Psalms. Now, the Levites, my ancestors, would be reciting the Psalms on the steps at the temple and the tabernacle. Well, there were no steps at the tabernacle, but at the temple. And it's said that the Psalms of the Levites, first there was the Psalm of each and every day, the Shir Shel Yom, a specific psalm would be sung on a specific day, and this is also true to the holidays with Hallel, a collection of psalms, and so on. And it's said that the Levites had their way of orienting their voices, the melodies, and their minds, and that the people who would be heartbroken going into the temple would hear the song and be uplifted. They would hear the song and they would see in the song and sense in the Levites' song that which needed to, let's say, make them return or heal their wounds. You know, there was something therapeutic, comforting, full of solace and elation about the songs of the Levites. There's a school of music here in the center of town called the Song of the Levites. And my woman walked in. So. It's literally the go-to racial slur, says Rusty, against Muslims in the West. You know that, Sneezer. Well, apparently he didn't. Oh, I mean, unless he's just playing. I don't think he is. Knowingly, said Sneezer, maybe they did, and I just assumed they meant Pakistani. Ah, okay, so you had encountered it, but you thought it was literally people from Pakistan. Yes, he is. He's upstairs. Because I finished something outside. Okay. What, like 5% of Muslim are Pakistani? I mean, Muslims are what? 1.6 billion? 1.5 billion? I don't know how many people are in Pakistan. 5% of Muslims? Well, I mean, that might make sense. He did a gig. Wait, I'm sorry, did I miss something? What did I miss? He did a gig in South Carolina. Who did?
Your brother.
Well, yes, but my brother wasn't part of the conversation before, was he? Or was he? Did I mention my brother?
How's your brother?
What's that?
Robert asked how's your...
Oh, I didn't see. Robert, you asked how my brother's doing? He actually sent me a message that I hadn't listened to yet, I think, after before the Chag, before the holiday. I see. Now he's asking. I saw it reversed in the chat for some reason. He did a gig, and then how's your brother? Well, as far as I know, he's doing well, doing okay, happy and content and thriving, and looking for new directions to develop himself in. So Nizar says Muslim is a big and beautiful culture. Pakistani throw shit at each other on a holiday. Well, if it's to teach one humility, I guess there's something to that. But if it's just out of a mean spirit, I don't condone that. So Nizar says even if it's only a small portion of them, it's not beautiful. Robert said, pardon? I think they're both hanging there and drying. I think I washed them. Maybe give them another rinse, but I'm pretty sure I washed them both. Oh, I'm sorry. Then it's there with the bottles on the third drawer from the top there. Achi is my brother. Yes, Ach is brother. Achi is my brother. So your brother would be Achicha. Your brother. Robert says, never knew Melech David had Yoav killed. Well, he also had Avner ben Ner. Yoav, look, he told Shlomo that Yoav did two terrible things, right? He put war where there was supposed to be peace, and he killed Avner ben Ner, right, and Amasa as well. There are things Yoav did. He was a great general, and he had many victories, but there are certain things that David said could not go unpunished. Or he said, right, he tells him before he dies, he said, you're a wise man, you'll do the right thing. So yeah, he had him killed. He had him killed, and Shimei ben Gera of Binyamin, right, also, Shlomo told him, if you leave Jerusalem, you're a dead man. And he left Jerusalem, and he was a dead man. And Anshei Yavesh Gila. Okay, let's continue. Or maybe just ach. Yes, that's right. In Yemeni, it's achi. Right, ach. Oh, Seinfeld. Okay, Seinfeld did a gig. Seinfeld did a gig in South Carolina, a comedy show. We seen him live. Hey, that's another thing we have in common. We both saw him live. Oh, I love this tea. Rusty says, Pakistani immigrants have a bad rep, and this then got attached to Islam. People who hate Muslims then started calling them Pakis as a slur. How you lot are ignorant to this is insane. Well, if it's in the West, I don't live in the West, so I don't know that. The last slur that I heard was probably something like towel head or some stupid thing. But I didn't know that Paki as such was a slur. No idea. Sneezer says, I think it's both about humility and vindictiveness. So, well, how? Oh, I see. So it's you exercising vengeance and in the same, two birds, one stone, teaching the other humility. I wonder if humility and vindictiveness simultaneously, or are they mutually exclusive depending on the individual? Also, is the shit thrown as part of a religious rite? Is it, I mean, it's a holiday, you said. Which holiday is it? What is the context? What are the circumstances? Because I could definitely see how that can be an act of humbling oneself. You know, having people throw feces at you. That might do it. Rusty says, look at films like Four Lions and East is East. They portray the Paki-hating culture, which all connected to Islam eventually. Well, what is the Muslim culture in Pakistan? I'm sure it's not exactly like the Muslim culture in the Middle East, because it's more Arab here. Pakis are not Arabs.
They are.
They're Muslim, they're not Arabs. Wait, was Pakistan Arabized? I don't think so. Islam came in, but not necessarily Arabia, if that makes sense.
Pretty
Right?
sure it is.
Well, what do you mean? There are Muslims all over. Not all of them are Arab.
No, but like I've seen Pakistan people and they were Arab.
Okay, if you say so. Hey, Reagan's is here. Hello, hello. That's a big rewatch, Rusty. You wouldn't be Paki, would you? A big reach, not rewatch. Reach. A big reach. Do I look Asian? He says. On a 3mm pic, you don't look anything. Yep, gotta concede that. No reach about it at all, it's fact. Get a better phone. Get a better phone, he tells Sneezer. And me, because I'm looking here and there, and still 3mm. Have fun. Have fun. Yeah, but towel head usually refers to both Paki and Jeet, Indian, he says. Okay. Okay, wow, it's the end of an era. Not in Canada, bro, said Sneezer. We don't go bashing others. Oh, I'm sorry, he said then, Rusty said, people in the West used to go... Bye, baby, love you. Safe travels. Have fun. People in the West, said Rusty, used to go Paki bashing when the Asians first started coming here. Now, do you mean Asian as in East Asia, Southeast Asia? Because, do you mean Pakistan? Do you mean, further east, China, Japan? I don't know. Rusty continues, the West are so dumb, they would burn down Gurdwara? I'm not sure what a Gurdwara is. I'll just Google that really quickly. I'm assuming it's something that it's a building. Oh, it's a Sikh place of assembly, thinking they were mosques. Well, dumb, not necessarily. Ignorant, perhaps, not dumb. And where you draw the line, I don't know, but... Sneezer continues, Underground Railroad led here. Nearly every big town has a Chinatown because they helped us build Canada. Yeah, people... What does Louis C.K. say? He says, how did we traverse the nation so quickly with the railroads? We just put Chinese people in caves and blew them up. I didn't care what happened to them. Right? Of course, but maybe. So, there is a Chinatown in a lot of places. A lot of infrastructure. They helped build it. So they helped build the entirety, right? A lot of the infrastructure of North America, I suppose, including Canada, which I didn't know. He continues and says, in bad conditions, granted, but they earned their place. In bad conditions, they helped to build Canada under bad conditions, but they earned their place. We don't go bashing others. But when you do, it's probably Americans, right? Am I correct, right? The US? Blame Canada. Sneezer says, yeah, I got like 6 inches of black on both sides of you, another 6 inches or so, and the chat is like 3-4 inches wide. 6 inches of black. All right, so you've got the bars, okay. Caleb says, shalom, shalom, brother, pray you're blessed today. And you, Caleb, I appreciate it. I really do. Yes. I can take a quick break and bring him down. Then I'll, you know what? Then I'll be done in a few minutes. I'll be done in a few minutes. Okay. I've never heard of a gurdwa either. Sikh, that's the word I was trying to remember for towel head. Sikhs and Jeets, I say. Because of the turban, obviously. It didn't matter what sort of Asian. Never mind. It doesn't matter what sort of Asian. It's just unbelievable that that's the case. But, okay. So Sneezer says, maybe not to you, Rusty, but Canadians like to learn about other places. Subtle jabs here. Wait, Rusty, Sneezer, you've gone pretty much, head to head, round for round every time that you both have been online together. Which, I appreciate the debate. It's cool. In the UK, says Rusty, we were very racial at one point, targeting all sorts of Asians and calling it Paki bashing, lol. Ignorant society we were when they started coming here. Well, ignorance pervades everything, and hopefully, we get a little bit less ignorant with each passing day. Hopefully. Yep, Americans or French, said Sneezer. So when Canadians bash people, it's the American or the French. Sneezer says it's a 40-inch screen, but adjusting for perspective from where I'm sitting. Oh, okay, so you've got a PC, 40-inch screen, but it's adjusted for perspective because I'm vertical on a mobile. Gotcha. The towel head specifically refers to the turbans. Okay, some Muslims wear them, of course. Yeah. Of course they do. All right, so I'll just... British hate the French. Funnily enough, I remember from the show Married with Children that the Bundys didn't care for the French either. The French hate the Brits, of course. I mean, Woody Allen in, what is it, in Love and Death? Oh, no, I'm sorry, that's Russia against Napoleon. Forget that. All right, so you know what? I will say just... I hopefully will continue broadcasting this week, on and off. I'd like to, with Hebrew, not Hebrew, just, well, Nazarite Awareness Week, the Torah portion, Naso. Last week, I did it day by day. I did one day on grapes, one day on the hair, one day on abstaining from death, and then one day talking in general about the vow and my experiences last year. Not last week, last year. This week, I don't think I'm going to do that. And as I said, I do want to start that AMA on Reddit. There was a server issue and I couldn't do it. I wanted to do it simultaneously with this and read questions off of there, but it didn't work out. But I do, if you're on Reddit, look out for my AMA there. That should be nice if I could get it going. The Nazarite ship means so much to me, and I quote my father in this context when he told me, when I decided to stop wearing tefillin, phylacteries, and he told me, aren't you putting too much stock by your hair? Right, aren't you? And I said, yes, I am. Yes, I am. I definitely am. It's something that I'm all in on. It's something that I'm staking a lot on. And It's now my 15th year under this vow. And the more I immerse myself in it, and the more I live it, and the more I grow with it, even if I'm doing things that are way off, even if I'm doing things that are wrong, it's my choices, it's a path that I've carved out for myself. And even though people who are Orthodox will say I'm off the derech, right, off the path, I always say, or think rather, when I hear the term, I'm off their path. But as I've said many times, it's two different branches leading to the same route. And I grew up modern Orthodox in Jerusalem, and in my mid-20s, everything going on in my life and in the country, the strict Orthodox halachic religion was no longer my cup of tea. And when I decided to take this vow, I had a lot of soul searching to do on whether or not I'm doing it for the right reasons. But the more I am under this vow, and the more I hopefully grow, not in all facets, of course, I still struggle daily, plenty, but the place where I am headed, that ideal that is the Nazariteship, the crown, that's something unattainable that I nevertheless try to attain all the time. The grapes, the hair, for the Samson vow, there is no abstaining from death, and so I don't include that, but I did take on veganism along with it, which is sanctifying life, the other side of the coin. The Nazariteship is a world entire, and the verses that deal with the Nazariteship in this week's Torah portion of Naso are slim. Just 8 verses that depict it, and then it's just about how you end it, if you make it for a set period of time. The Nazariteship nowadays, and the Samson Nazarite as such, is for life. And so, 8 verses, if I'm not mistaken, it's 8 verses. And they hold so much. I gave up certain things when I decided to take a step away from organized religion and strict halacha. And it's still my home, and it's still my roots. But what I've gained, and I've paid a price, and I continue to pay a price, because I left one thing, at least in some way, and I took on this vow, made it a lot more about who I am and what I'm doing. And maybe it's to my detriment. But I reread these verses, this week's Torah portion, right, of Naso, situated between the woman gone astray and, right, the wayward woman and the blessing of the priests, is the Nazarite, between the sacred and the profane, if you will. Life and death. And it's hearkening back to Eden, to the fruit of the tree of knowledge, to the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And it's hanging on ever so dearly to the tree of life. Hopefully I'll get to talk about that more. Until then, let's have a wonderful continuation of this week. Good night from Jerusalem. Hopefully I'll get to read the chat in another stream this week, and the comment that I wanted to read that I didn't get to. Thank you all. I appreciate the people watching now, people watching later, the likes, the subs, the views, the comments in the chat. Thank you. If you have something to comment, I'll be answering comments, I hope, in the next hour or so. So once I hit end stream, it'll go private, and then I'll immediately turn it back to public. So come back in a minute and leave a comment. Until then, until next time, good night from Jerusalem.